See, this is one of the things I really liked about this episode of Haikyū. You got to see a bunch of the main characters showing all their fucking guns. And I'm not talking about these beautiful guns right here. I'm talking about those mad-ass fucking characters that we saw in this one. And I definitely gotta say, they're really trying to bring out like all the big people now. And let's just get straight into this one and talk about the sick-ass practice match that we got right in this episode of Haikyū. So one of the best things at the start of this episode, what we got saw is that Hinata and Kageyama actually failed their exams. I'm like, oh my god, you idiots. Like, how could you mess up? I kind of liked it though in the same way. It's like, oh, of course they passed at the last minute, you know, the best. It's like, Hanukkah did good. Nishinoya did good. All of the others, yeah, it's these two fuckers that failed. So they had to do a supplementary exam while everyone else went there and they could go later on, which is like, they got pretty much saved by Tanaka's sisters. Like, yo, I'm driving you up there. My brother asked me for a solid. I'll take you up there. And I just love the whole conversation that they were having throughout that whole thing. Saying, oh yeah, I know the small giant. Like, yeah, he was cool. I never spoke to him and everything. Well, I wasn't close. It's like, I was just like, you know, this reluctant sort of like bitch and all that back and forth. Like, it's just seeing her talk to it and seeing like this whole time that she saw the one thing like from the small giant and like this sick ass move. And then like, I think he like screwed up or something. He just smashed his head on the fucking thing. And he just looked at her like with like this scary ass face. Because, you know, he was the ace of the team. Like, he was there, he was obviously making like all the sick plays, and that's what he had to do, and he had a lot of responsibility on him. And I like that. It's like this whole little conversation they're having, and she's just this sick ass driver, just like, you know, like fucking scared for his life. And I just like how Kageyama was just like sleeping in the back, and she just fucking like, and she does like a hard test, like Kageyama just smashes his fucking head. He's just like, dude. It's just like, just way out of it. Not to mention where we saw that, you really do get to see how pretty much like average that Karasuno become without Hinata, without Kageyama. I mean, yeah, they've got some good ass players and all that back, but it's like, yeah, they're pretty average, and that shows, yeah, without the two main roles, they aren't really anything too special, especially when you get to see like all the other people like there. You get to see like Neko there, you get to see like, I believe like the other group was like Furukorodani or something like that. They had that really sick ass guy like Bokuto with the white hair sort of thing going throughout his hair. Like, there was like a bunch of other characters as well going through there. It was like, I believe it was like Tokonami, like there was a bunch of the characters that I remember like seeing there, and it's like a lot of them having very unpronounceable like names and stuff, like Ubagawa High, Shinzen. Like, there was a bunch of them, and I was thinking like, how on earth am I supposed to even remember it? But honestly, the best part of the episode, honestly, it was like when they got to arrive. It's just like that preview when you saw it, like, because they were doing some sick ass shit before I get into that preview. It's like, you know, when Hinata and Kageyama, they were doing something. They didn't realize that our quick spike attack isn't going to work. Date and all the others were getting used to that attack, and now, you know, they pretty much like know what we're going to be doing. It's like, we need to come up with some plans, and like meeting with like one of the other members of NECA, yeah, which a lot of people probably won't know who that character is. Lieth, I believe his name from NECA, the new ace or so. Well, like he's self-proclaimed, is that he was actually from the Jump Festa special. I didn't actually see this till like, I think a month before the anime came back actually, and he was like someone that like, it was a really nice little Jump Festa, and I would recommend people to see that if you want to find out more about the character. But yeah, he's half Russian, he's like was as well half Japanese, and the whole thing about the whole little special was him trying to get along with like, you know, everyone in Nikiale and like kind of become a better player, because he was pretty much shit at first, and that's the reason why we didn't see him at the start. But it's like, no, it was like awesome to see from him, and it's like, yeah, like seeing like, you know, that basically him and like Kenma were like pretty much like getting to used to one another, and it was kind of cool to see that, you know, he's really determined to be, you know, the ace and try and be better. I mean, I really want to see like the other guys, like, you know, the guy with the mohawk. It was just so great when he saw the girls, like from like the whole thing with Karaso, and he's just like, oh my god, I'm so jealous. And Tanaka's there like a Buddha, like, yeah, look at me in the honeys, like that. I was just like Tanaka, you are the best. You are the absolute best, and I adore that. Overall, this was a really solid episode. It was fucking great. I would say that. It was honestly fantastic, and I would honestly give it a fucking solid 9. Like, it was just so good. I was laughing throughout the entire way. Only issue I guess I could say about that is just like, I wish, like, I know it's like complaining for something that's like in Japanese and all that, but honestly, the names are just so just unpronounceable. Some of them, like Ubagawa, Shinzen, Kura, Danifuro, like, they just, can we keep the simple names, Seirin, Rakusan, you know, come to that. Even like Kuroko had their issues, but it's just like some of them at the end, they had that kind of like easy pronounceable names and all that. It's like Karasuno, it's like, you know, that's the most, I got that old part because I've heard it so many times. It's like, but Jesus, some of them are really hard to pronounce, and honestly, I'm looking forward to like going back into the practice matches and see what honestly, you know, Hinata and everyone can do and what they're really going to come up with throughout this whole training period. But that's all for me. So thank you so much for watching. As always, honestly, solid 9, just a 9. It was great, and I will catch you guys next time.